right now I have a doctor by my side. Republican Senator Rand Paul grew up 40 minutes from the shooting scene. In fact, his nephew was the principal at Santa Fe High School until just a couple of months ago.
Just a couple of months ago. So this hits very close to home for me. I was just talking with family members that are upset just thinking about it, because my nephew knew kids at the school and still knows the teachers there and may well have known the people who tried to defend them. And I don't know, we keep hearing about these things time after time, and some of us want there to be something done. I think we need to do something, and I think the first thing we should do is there needs to be an announcement by every school district that we're going to defend our children, and that we're not going to have a sign outside that said we're defenseless. And I think that's the problem, is that we do have these, homicidal or crazy or mentally disturbed kids, but they still aren't so disturbed that they're going to shoot up the sheriff's office. They're showing up where there is no self-defense. And so I think the nation needs to wake up, and we need to make every superintendent, every principal should be right now thinking, I'm going to make an announcement tomorrow that I'm not going to leave our kids undefended.
It just hit me from what you're saying. We talk about this, and maybe he'll turn out to be adult age, but this is a student at the school. Potentially, that's what we're learning. This is a child. And with your connection through your nephew having been a principal there, he may have even known this young man. He only left a couple of months ago. And so that puts a different sort of touch on this, because these are children. And that's what we felt in Parkland. And when you see something, say something in a broad sense, we live in New York here, and it's terrorism, and we're all heightened sensitivity. But sometimes with children, not everybody displays in the same way. So there'll be a lot of finger pointing.
But I think we get distracted. We start talking about something that Republicans and Democrats disagree with on,
why do we do that?
On gun control. Instead of
saying, I mean you, not me. Those on the Hill.
Instead of saying, though, but why don't we say it as a country? We're not going to leave our kids defenseless. We're going to defend them. Look, every Hollywood actor that hates guns has armed bodyguards defending them. So they hate guns unless the guns are defending them. Let's announce tomorrow, and let's encourage everybody who protects our kids, superintendents, principals, school boards, announce tomorrow we're not going to leave our kids defenseless. We are going to defend our schools from crazy people with guns.
You know what police officers, even in the last hour or so, have told me, but just in a broader sense that I've interviewed, have said you have to start to treat schools the same way that you would any other target in society. They are soft targets because you're not protecting them like hard targets.
Well, because we have such mass communication, everybody sees everything. There's always been this phenomenon of copycat killers. But now everybody sees everything, so everyone's seeing these mass shootings. And we have a country of 330 million people. All it takes is a fraction of a percent of crazy people. Maybe there's only 100 people in the United States are crazy enough to do this. I mean, we're seeing a shooting pretty commonly, but there's only 100 of them. But if there's 100 of them,
and it's your school.
Yeah, we need to defend our schools.
Yeah, I shared this with our audience earlier, maybe not quite in as much detail, but there have been 7 school shootings which appear to be intentional. That's different from the 31 times that guns have been discharged on campuses for sundry of other motivations or reasons. But 7 that we know of. 4th fatal shooting at a school this year. And some of the numbers, as you know, with Parkland, 17 dead, 12 injured, are daunting. Not the only one in January in Benton, Kentucky, Marshall County High School, Kentucky.
In my state.
That's right. January 23rd, 2 dead, 15 injured.
Right.
A very high number there.
Well, I think it's twofold what we need to do. We need to say our schools are no longer going to be defenseless, but we also need to actively go out and try to stop children or kids who have psychiatric disorders that make them violent. There was a story the other day that the Parkland shooter, there were 58 opportunities at which he could have been arrested before this, and nobody did their job.
By the way, the day that it was happening, it was 39. So apparently there have been...
They found more.
They found more, and they've gone deeper in all
They've also
that.
found where one time he was assigned and should have gone before a judge, and he was assigned to 3 days in a certain detention. If you don't show up, you're supposed to be incarcerated and you get a criminal record. He didn't show up, and nobody bothered to do their job and follow up on the fact that he didn't adhere to his punishment.
Frightening. And then just moments ago, Congressman Randy Weber, who is in this district,
I know him well,
in Texas, was telling us about the beautiful community, and he was also sharing too about how you deal with the disturbed individuals in your community. And he was saying, you know, that's what we think we have here. We have a disturbed individual, a young disturbed individual with 2 different addresses. Detective Williams, Ted Williams, was saying we have to start to ask questions about this young man's personal life at this point.
Well, Randy Weber replaced my father. My father represented this district. This is my dad's congressional district that he represented for 20 years, so we know the area very well. It's just down the road from us, and it's a small community. A couple thousand people probably live in Santa Fe. The county probably has a few more, but it's a very small town. I'm sure everybody knows everybody in that community, and it'll be doubly sad because it's not an impersonal thing. It's going to be very, very personal.
It's personal for all of us in America. When I heard that child, Layla Butler, tell me just a short time ago that they had to figure out how to get to Highway 6 so they could cross the highway running to get away from the school. It's personal for all of us.
I've been shot at. I was at the baseball field when we were shot at, and first you got to figure out where's it coming from, who's shooting at us, is there one shooter or more, and you're not sure even in the beginning what side of the building or the tree to get on to avoid being shot. And so it is a harrowing thing, and for kids even more so because they haven't experienced as many things.
You know, as a doctor, and you hear from so many sources and even police, wouldn't talk in detail maybe about the other weapons that we're learning about, but a shotgun, what does that do to the body?
Well, you know, one, it scatters, and so a lot of people can be shot with one blast of a shotgun. And, you know, the pellets penetrate everywhere, but you can be shot with 15 bullets, you know, from one blast. If they're close enough, one person could be, you know, penetrated 15 times. And so they're devastating from a short range, you know, a shotgun can be. And so we talk about all of this, oh, we're going to ban AR-15s. Well, they're more high-powered and you can shoot more rapidly than a shotgun, but a shotgun's equally devastating, you know, from 10 yards, 15 yards away.
An art class?
Yeah,
it's not probably 10 yards.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, but
probably
it's
not.
Devastating. And so this gets back to this whole thing, oh, people just want to say, oh, we're going to ban guns. Well, we're going to ban shotguns. We're going to ban every gun. You can't do that possibly. So what we ought to do is what we can do. We get so distracted in the debate over banning guns that we don't have the debate we should have. How do we secure our schools? How do we defend our children and make sure they're safe? And then how do we try to prevent this from happening by finding if someone is that unstable and they're making threats, how do we separate them from guns? Not all the rest of us. How do we separate crazy people from guns?
So as a doctor, you treat the whole patient. No matter what your line is, you know that at any moment you're treating somebody who physically is having a situation. But what I hear you saying too, in society as medical professionals, you're also looking at the things that we don't see. Why do you think it's so hard for us to deal with this mental situation with people? Why is that so stigmatized? My daughter falls and breaks her arm. I'm all over. I'm telling everybody, let me get to the hospital.
Well, and it doesn't take a psychiatrist to figure some of this stuff out, or even a trained professional. You know, when the shooting happened at Parkland, every kid was going, I'll bet you it was so-and-so.
Right, and I had to ask the young girl today, even if you think you know who it was, don't mention a name because we don't have anything confirmed.
Yeah, but at Parkland, they ended up finding out that every one of these kids who didn't see the shooting was saying, I'll bet you it's so-and-so. And so everybody knew that kid was a problem. He'd threatened teachers, but nobody was doing their job. He should have been arrested. He should have been separated from his guns. He shouldn't have been in a house with guns, but it's very individualized. It's about an individual that does something wrong that goes through a court proceeding. And then the people who are obeying the law, we don't go and take their self-defense from them. We take it from the people who are breaking laws and are a danger to others. But we're not doing enough of it. And we've been lax. I mean, look, we're lax at a lot of things. You come to D.C. and everybody on every homeless corner is talking to the air. I mean, schizophrenia is the most common diagnosis for homeless people across the country. And there is a humane way. I mean, we should... but it does imply a little bit of that there would be a crime somehow to vagrancy and you would be arrested and put in a shelter. But we would try to get you help. Right. Instead, we've decided that you have the right to be a vagrant, which really I'm not so sure you do have a right to be a vagrant, but then we also don't get any help then. You sleep in the cold and you get frostbite and your fingers are falling away from frostbite. So we have to do something different about mental illness. Your
nephew used to be the principal up until a couple of months ago of Santa Fe High School. And I know that for your family, because you grew up just 40 miles from here, this is personal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I appreciate you coming in and talking about it and bringing us a different side of the story too. You know exactly where Highway 6 is outside that school where kids were trying to get to safety too.
Yep.
Senator Rand Paul, thank you. I appreciate your time.